For Agriculture Today, I'm Charles C. Craig. As the temperatures heat up, cattle will start to congregate around or in ponds or other standing water. Foot rot is a common cause of lameness in beef cattle on pasture, which is related to wet soil conditions. The lameness can cause a decrease in weight gain of young cattle and milk production decline of adult cows. Also, lame bulls will be reluctant to breeding. K-State veterinarian Greg Hanselcheck is here to talk about this foot rot issue.
It's a bacterial infection that's caused actually by a group of bacteria. And the thing that producers really need to remember is that these bacteria are in the environment all the time. And in fact, some of these bacteria are actually normal rumen inhabitants. And this spring, when it was really wet, we had all the rain and animals were on pasture, they were walking in mud all the time. Their feet were wet. That's enough to reduce the thickness of the skin and allow it to become lacerated.
Hanselcheck talks about the signs of foot rot and how bacteria can enter into the foot.
It is primarily a lameness thing. And when we talk about clinical signs, the first thing it's going to be is a sudden onset of lameness. The thing that distinguishes this type of lameness from other is that there'll usually a symmetrical swelling around the coronary band. Coronary band's that area where the skin attaches to the hoof. So right above that hoof, we'll start seeing a symmetrical swelling, a sudden onset of that. If we pick up the foot, there will always be a break in the skin between the toes, and that's where the bacteria burrowed. We're able to get underneath the skin. And then the other thing about it is there's an awful odor when we pick up the foot, because some of those bacteria actually produce toxins that destroy the tissue. So we've got rotting tissue in that foot rot lesion.
There are many effective antibiotics for treating foot rot. Hanselcheck expands on injectable, topical, and oral treatments, noting that the injectable products may be a better option.
The fact that it's a bacterial infection, we do have antibiotics that are effective, and there's oxytetracycline, there's Naxel, XNL, there's a whole bunch of products on the market that are labeled. They're all very effective if the foot rot is observed early and treatment is initiated early in the course of disease. The injectables are very, very effective. Lots of research has looked at it. Topical antibiotics on foot rot situations are really not very effective. It's going to take an injectable of some sort, or there's some oral sulfoboluses that'll do the same thing, but just putting some antibiotic on the wound and then wrapping it is not very effective at all.
It's always good to look over grass cattle for lameness when checking them. That was K-State veterinarian Greg Hanselcheck discussing foot rot disease and the best way to treat it. I'm Charles C. Craig, and this has been Agriculture Today over the K-State Radio Network.